What's good, everyone? This is Marcus Fingaz back with another video. In this video, I'm going to share the story of how I connected with an incredible music composer, an incredible musician, incredible entrepreneur who started his own sampling company, and he's making a full-time income from making music. His name is Melin. I'm going to tell you a little story because I actually got his book in the mail today from winning it from a library in Muskogee, Oklahoma, where I won this book. So I'll tell you that whole story. So first, I heard of Steven. I listened to a lot of podcasts. So I was listening to a podcast called the Soundtrack Academy. This was earlier last year. I heard this episode with Steven Melin. The Soundtrack Academy is a podcast where they interview composers who've worked on video games, movies, TV shows, all kinds of projects, run by Johnny. Shout out to Johnny at the Soundtrack Academy. I saw him or heard him do this interview podcast. I will include a link in one of these corners. I always forget where the link ends up going. I'll include a link to that podcast with Steven Melin. So I heard this episode with Steven, and Steven was talking about how he is into this field of video games. He does music for 2D video games. So if you have like 3D games, maybe he'll be open to discussing, but his focus is on 2D video games. And he really shared something that resonated with me. It was how he approaches getting paid for projects on his website, where he has sliders where you can tell if you want 1 or 2 tracks, how long it needs to be, and it'll calculate the price for you, and it makes the buying process really easy. So I reached out to him after hearing that interview, saying, hey, I heard your interview. I would love to have an 8-minute conversation with you about getting more insight into how you do this cost thing. And he responded, I believe it was either email or Instagram or whatever the case is. He responded, said, hey, why don't we make it 30 minutes? And can I record it? And I was like, yeah, you can record it, man. 30 minutes, that's awesome. So I actually did a 30-minute, actually, I think it might have even been closer to an hour, and they cut it down to maybe 30 minutes or so. But I had a great conversation with him. He posted that on his page. I will include a link here about all about how to find work. I was more trying to glean knowledge from him on how he finds work in the composing field, and trying to see how I can apply that to how I find work more on the pop, R&B, hip-hop side, finding work that way, and sort of melding those two sort of genres or the two ideals of finding work from both platforms, but trying to apply one to the other. So he shared that with me. I've been connecting with him off and on over since then, really over the last year. So you see the journey from the Soundtrack Academy interview to reaching out to him directly. He responded. He didn't have to respond in the first place, but he responded and said, hey, yeah, let's have this chat. I'll include it on my social media. It'll be content for my platform. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And then I'm just having a conversation with him in this very room. I was on the couch, so you don't see it here. It's across from me, sitting on that couch and just really having a great chat with him for whatever it was, an hour, 30 minutes. And then over those few months, he created this platform called Simple Samples Audio. What Simple Samples Audio is, it's a platform that he created where he has created these sounds for video games that he works on. So he has these kits that he builds for specific video games, and he now sells those kits through his Simple Samples audio platform. And you can buy these kits. I have several of them. Some of them I've won in some of the contests he hosts. So if he releases a new kit, he may create a contest for it, and you can do a demo song for it, and then he'll listen to them in a live video and choose, the top 5 or 10 or whatever the case is, and those people will win a copy of that sample library. I've won a couple just by working with him, done some demos that proudly are featured on some of the pages of some of these libraries. There are some incredible sounds. One is a viola library. One is like an 8-bit library. There are libraries about, there's one with granular pads. So there's so much content there. Definitely check out Simple Samples Audio. I will include a link in the description below. But that leads me to the current reason for doing this video. A couple of weeks, maybe about a month ago now, Muskogee Public Library did a virtual discussion, not really an interview, but a virtual chat with Steven Melin, asking about his journey in the music industry and the music video game and composing world. And he shared his journey. And at the end of this discussion, I think it was on Facebook Live, it might have been in a Discord group also, and maybe shared on some other platforms, they did a giveaway. I know that in the giveaway that I was the second one to enter this giveaway. So as soon as I saw like you can win Stephen Melin's book, and for me that's like the missing element in this Stephen story. Like I have the chat with him, I have the great sounds and libraries with him. I tune into his YouTube channel. I've done some of his free courses, done some of his courses online about navigating the industry and how to handle paperwork and all that. So the one thing that was missing is I didn't have his book. And if you ever watch a video of Stephen Melin, in his back corner, maybe I'll include a screenshot. Right behind him in this corner, you see like a Super Mario character. You might see some other characters, and then you see his book proudly sitting there in that corner. And that was the one thing I didn't have in this whole Stephen story. So as it turns out, just by fate, if you believe in fate or destiny, my name was called as a winner of this book. So I don't know how many people entered, but I think Jeremy from Muskogee Library at the end of this discussion with Stephen asked Stephen to choose a number between 0 and however many people entered. Maybe it was 20, 30. And Stephen said, let's choose number 2. And that's how I know I was number 2, because when he said number 2, Jeremy said, that's Marcus Manderson, you've won. So that was a couple weeks ago. I won this book. I'm going to open this book. I'm not going to read it live, obviously, on this video. But this is the package. Just got it earlier this week. I think it might have been in the mailbox a couple days, but because of pandemic life, as you see me struggling to open this package, I don't check the mail every day, so it could have been there a couple days. I just got it yesterday, where I actually went to the mailbox and saw the package was in there. So we're going to open it up. I hope that's what it is. It's from them, and here it is in all its glory. Family first composer, the one missing element in my story with Stephen Melin, other than meeting him in person, which I believe will also happen. It's actually not a thick book, so I could probably read this in a couple of days. My wife is the reader in the family. She could probably read this in one day. If I really focused on this, I could probably read it in one day. I'll have to grab my highlighter, start taking notes. But this is forward by Adam Gutman, another incredible composer. He actually has an interview with Stephen Melin on the channel too. If I can include that link, I don't know how many links I can include in the video. I will include a link to the video on one of these corners also. But looking forward to diving in on Family First Composer. Shout out to Stephen Melin. Shout out to Jeremy at the Muskogee Public Library. Shout out to Simple Samples Audio. And really shout out to the Soundtrack Academy and Jonathan for introducing me to these other composers that I might not have otherwise found if I wasn't listening to that podcast. So you see the sort of trajectory, the journey of me finding all these content creators, these incredible musicians, incredible composers. That's all I have for you today. I'm going to dive into this book. I might do a sort of a overview. I don't want to share too many nuggets from the book, because definitely go out and buy it. Maybe it's at Barnes & Noble, online, on Amazon, or maybe on Stephen Melin's site. But definitely find, for those interested, Family First Composer. Just to give you an idea of what it is, it's basically a proven path to escape your 9-to-5 and support your family by making music. This is focused on making music for film, television, and video games, but I would also highly suggest getting it even if you're making music for commercials, or for whatever the case is, for artists, recording artists, pop, hip-hop, R&B, for singers, songwriters, or just for your own enjoyment. Family First Composer. I'm sure there's going to be ideas in here that I can apply to my own music making process and music production journey. So again, not a long video, even though it's sort of a long video. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Shout out to Stephen Melin again. And I will have an update whenever I get done reading, or whenever I get around to reading it. I'm working on a lot of things right now, but again, looking forward to diving into this book and sharing some nuggets with you all. All right, be safe and be well, everyone. All right, peace.